We did it. We did it. I am so humbled and I am so thankful. We got to over 50,000 subscribers, and I want to thank everybody for your participation, especially in this show. You guys make this show, and I'm so excited. It is one of the absolute joys of my week and gives me an incredible amount of energy to be here on Wednesdays with you guys and really breaking down this business and making it as simple as possible so that we understand that it's not about perfection. It is about progress over perfection all the time, every single day. It's about taking that action. Remember, it is the action and the results that equal our education, not education plus action equals results. So I am so incredibly humbled. I am so incredibly excited for today's show. We're talking about how to get to that six figures, how to build $120,000 into your life doing this business part-time. But before I get in there, you know I love starting out with a little bit of mindset check, a little bit of perspective. All right. And I want you to think about this, and I want you to write this down, and I want you to make this very, very clear in your mind, because I get a lot of questions about how do I stay motivated? I'm not from an environment that's very motivating. A lot of the people don't understand what I'm trying to do and trying to accomplish and the goals that I have for myself. And a lot of people are just telling me to just get a solid job or go to school or to do all these things. And that all comes from a place of love. But you're different. You're different like we're different, like I'm different, like we just have different brains. We don't want to live that life. That to us is not security. That to us is, a form of really just pushing down and keeping down all of these incredible goals that we have and incredible thoughts that we have, and just that feeling in the back of our head that says that we are destined for more, that we can really do something special with the time that we have. And I applaud you for having that brain. I applaud you for being on here. But just remember this: imagination is the key to motivation. Okay? Imagination is the key to motivation. Imagining the success, imagining the benefits, imagining the opportunities that you and your family are going to have because of the work that you put in, because of the actions that you take, because of the mindset that you have, because of the instruction that you get, because of the path that you follow, changes everything. But it's imagination is the key to motivation. Put it in, write it down, remember that. And what I want to, before I get into this $120,000 part-time in this business, I want you to imagine this. All right? Imagine that as I break down the schedule, as I break down exactly what I want you to do in 20 hours a week, imagine that every hour that you put into this business, and I mean like actually speaking to property owners, every hour, imagine that I'm standing there giving you $1,000 every hour. Because the fact is, if I was there, if I was in your living room, if I was in your office, if I was in wherever, your bedroom, wherever you're making these calls, and I'm standing over you and I'm listening to you and I'm giving you $1,000 every single hour, I would literally have to tear you off the phone every day. I would literally have to stop you from taking action. But it's the absolute fact that you can make $1,000 plus an hour, more than attorneys, more than surgeons, more than CEOs, more than most people on planet Earth. You can do it by just the instructions that I'm going to give you in this training session here up front. Now, obviously, we're going to open this up to questions, so make sure that you're putting in the comments any questions as we go along, anything that you're dealing with, any properties you want to comp, is it a deal or no deal, and obviously, any celebrations that you want to have. We want to ring the bell. We want to celebrate it with you. All right, but you got to imagine motivation. The key is that imagination. The imagination. You have to have, some people call it vision. Some people call it the vision of the business, the vision of the company. All that is imagination. All that is seeing your future self. All that is seeing all these future opportunities. It's imagination. Keep that alive. Don't let people tear that away. Don't let, because what happens is we go through life and we imagine certain things and it doesn't happen the way that we do. And then all of a sudden we get pessimistic. All of a sudden that imagination starts getting eroded as we get older. We need to be childlike in this. We need to be absolutely strong in our conviction that we can do this and that it is going to impact everybody's life around us. We are going to be the magnet for everybody around us to be successful. It's absolutely incredible. All right. So just to reiterate right here, boom. Imagination is the key to motivation. That's it. All right. Now let's break down this. Let's break down 120,000 part-time. There's really two ways to slice and dice this. All right. Something that I want you to remember is typically when we are sourcing real estate opportunities, AKA wholesaling, right? When we are wholesaling real estate, all it is finding opportunities, finding discounted properties. Now, typically when you do that, you make about 10% of what that property is worth once it gets fixed up. All right? About 10%. It's baked into the way that we do our calculations and break down our deals and the way that I want you to be offering on certain properties, prices on certain properties. It's about 10% that you should be earning. So you got two options: 6 deals at $20,000 or 12 deals at $10,000. Now this is obviously going to vary market to market. This is going to vary on the amount of buyers that you have. And honestly, this is a great shot, but for your first like 12 or so deals, for most people, they're JVing with somebody that's already experienced and they're splitting those deals 50-50. So that's why I'm going to build this off of the 12 deals at 10K, even though I want you going after properties that are above 200,000 when they're fixed up. Now let me say that again, because a lot of the properties that I comp from my students, from my coaching students, and around the, just in this show or on live shows, are properties that are under 100,000. The issue with that is if it's under 100,000, 10% of 80,000 is much different than 10% of 20,000 or of 200,000 or 300,000. So I want to push you up. I want to challenge you to go after bigger properties, more higher price properties, so that 10% rule really comes into effect and that you're getting more for every single deal. All right? So this is an easy breakdown, right? This is easy math. We all get this. We all understand this. Let's get to the nitty-gritty here. So I'm going to pop, before I go on to the next slide, Matt, will you pop up the schedule here? Because we're going to really deep dive this, okay? This is the perfect part-time schedule. Now, here's the thing. Number one is, in your mind, if you are doing this part-time, in your mind, this has to be your full-time priority. All right. Now, listen, you already have a career, you have a job, you're doing something, and listen, that you've got responsibilities. I want you to continue to do that so that you don't get financially stressed out. Make sure if you're going to jump into this business full time, you have 6 months of operating expenses for your business and 6 months saved up for your life, right? Whatever your overhead is, whatever your monthly expenses is personally, I want you to have 6 months. Okay. I don't want you stressed out, because stress leads to anxiety, stress leads to poison in the mind, stress leads to inactivity, and I don't want that. I want you free flowing. I want you in the zone, right? Just in the flow of things, all right? And you can't do that if you're really, really, really stressed out, all right? So the perfect part-time schedule, 20 hours. Again, we have 168 hours in a week. We can find 20 hours to do this business. Now, the way that I have this broken down for today, I am challenging you to find 20 hours a week. This plan is 20 hours a month. Let me say that again. 20 hours a month. That's 5 hours a week to be able to accomplish this. But this is what you're getting. You're getting 15 hours of lead generation. That is picking up the phone and calling people. You should be talking to 10 people an hour. It'll take you 200 people, talking to 200 people to do one deal. So obviously it takes 20 hours of calls to be able to build that up. All right. Now, this is a really important one. That second one is something that almost nobody does, and that is the practice and role play. You're practicing the cold calling script, so you're reaching out to somebody and you're asking them if they would consider an offer in their property. You practice the script so that you feel more comfortable with it. I'm telling you, the difference between anybody, like just the average person, and superstars is reps. It is practice. I don't care if it's working on your body or your business or relationships or whatever it is reps. It is having a positive, optimistic attitude and putting in the reps with energizing enthusiasm. That is it. Putting in those reps are going to set you. So imagine this. Imagine if you've got an extra 50 hours of practice instead of doing that practicing when you're on the phone. I'm talking an hour a week of practice. Like, are you kidding? Like, going through different situations, going through any objections that are coming up when you are actually speaking with the property owners, right? Coming up and understanding when you ask somebody if they would consider an offer, there's only 6 responses. Understanding that every conversation that you're going through with the property owner, you're trying to find out 4 things. The condition of the property, their timeline to sell that property, what's their motivation to sell that property, and the price that they want for it. Like, all of that is in your practice and role play. All of that is what you build up so that you have better skills. It's like practicing anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the piano. I don't care if it's shooting basketball hoops. I don't care if it is whatever sport, playing soccer, playing anything, whatever it is. Professionally, for some reason, we just don't practice. And it's a huge, huge, huge difference between the people that practice and the people that don't. Put in the reps. Put in the reps. You're going to be an absolute superstar. Next is fanatical, ridiculous, unyielding lead follow-up. I am telling you, you are not going to lose deals from too much follow-up, from excess follow-up. You're going to lose deals for not following up in time. When they tell you 3 months and you don't call for 3 months and they already sold their property 2 weeks, a month after they talk to you, things change in people's lives. On average, listen to this, on average, it takes about 30 seconds to do a follow-up because for the most part, they don't answer. So you leave a voicemail and then you text message them. That's it. This isn't rocket science. Most people neglect lead follow-up because they don't want people to say no. They've heard no so many times that they get a yes and they're like, yes, this is going to be potential. And then you dig a little bit deeper and it's not, and it's heartbreaking. And you're like, oh my gosh. But it's only heartbreaking if you're not being consistent. It's only heartbreaking if it's the only lead that you have. If you've got 100 leads, you don't care if that one lead decided that they want to keep the house for another year, right? Lead follow-up, 1 hour of driving for dollars. 80% of new real estate investors get their first deal. New real estate wholesalers get their first deal from driving for dollars. It's just a fact. Driving for dollars, picking that up, finding the ugly properties in your community and having a good quality conversation with that homeowner. Imagine that. You practice in your scripts. You feel bulletproof. You feel confident. You get one of these property owners that owns the ugliest house on the block on the phone. You're pre-qualifying, and based on the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying, you're going and you're following up with that lead, and then that converts into a deal. That is a normal progression. That is the expectation that you should have with these leads. Driving for dollars is so powerful. Make sure that you get that Deal Machine app. We get the biggest discount on planet Earth for Deal Machine. Make sure that you use that coupon code TTP or go to dealmachine.com/TTP. Right there, it's the biggest discount. If you don't have it, you need to get it for sure. And then 2 hours of appointments. Going on these appointments. That's what's really important. Going on, getting face-to-face. If you're in the market, face-to-face, right? Dealmachine.com. That does not have the discount code on the bottom there, Matt. TTP, please. Thank you. There you go. 2 hours on appointments and driving for dollars lead follow-up. That's what you want to do when you are, if you've got extra time. But for the most part, 20 hours. This is broken down into the month. So let's look at, again, the numbers here. All right? just so that you have it, so that you can take a screenshot of it right here. This is what you need to look at. 20 hours per deal, 200 contacts per deal, 199 out of these 200 people will say no or not do business with you. The one will, and it'll be worth 10%. So push it, push the values, get it up over 200,000, get it to that $20,000 minimum standard mark for your deals. Because if you have to JV it in the beginning, that's still a nice profit if you're 50-50ing with somebody that's local. So 20 hours per week, 200 contacts, 199 rejections, one deal, and you are off and running. And listen, it doesn't take that many deals. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is incredible. Do you know how long this would take in a normal business if you're doing some sort of, some other kind of side hustle? It's not even close. As a part-time, to be able to fund your real estate business full-time, to go into this business full-time, and to be absolutely unleashed onto your market with all of your schedule, that is the goal. And this is how you get to it. It's not tremendously, you're not climbing the hugest mountain here, and it's not rocket science. It's just being consistent. It's just being consistent, but that comes back to the imagination. The imagination. Imagination is the key to motivation. I am telling you, you have to put in your head what life is going to look like when you close these deals. You have to put in your head what it looks like going through these transactions, going through these calls, being proactive, being that magnet of energizing enthusiasm for everybody that's around you. That is incredible. That is the key. You have that, you can stand up in your kitchen and make calls. You can stand up in your bedroom and make calls. You can be in your parents' house and make calls. You could be in the basement and making calls. That's it. It's just taking action. It's just picking up the phone, being consistent, and building in that 20 hours. I know that you can squeeze it out every single week. But if you feel like that's overwhelming, give me 5 hours. Find me 5 hours. Maybe it's half of a Saturday. Maybe it's your lunch breaks. Maybe it's when you get off work at 3:30 and you can get on the phone at 4. Find that time, but you have to set it aside as sacred time. It has to be sacred time. There can be no distractions. There can be nothing stopping you from making those calls. So you have to get buy-in from your family. You have to get buy-in from the people that you live with that understand during these times you need to focus. That is money time. That is the time that you're going to go out there and really make an impact in the community. All right? That's it. You got this. I know you got this. I know you got this. All right? So get going. All right? And for everybody that's just joining, welcome. Welcome to Real Estate Investing Live with Brent Daniels, a.k.a. Mr. TTP, a.k.a. Mr. Talk to People, a.k.a. 40-year-old Dash from The Incredibles. There you go. So if you guys aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. 50,000 of the absolute best investors from around the country and some overseas. We've got some incredible support from Israel, from Australia, from Europe. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. From Canada, it's absolutely incredible. So join us. If you're not subscribed, join us. Hit that notification button so that you get the newest, latest, and greatest videos that come out every single day. Boom. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
Part-time, 5 hours a week.
That's how most people got to start.
That's how most people have to start. Yeah. And 20 hours. I mean, pushing out the when you really make it, when you really look at it and you really look for those 20 hours a week, you can find it.
Yeah.
But some people just have more responsibilities. Some people just want to ease into it. They want to make sure that they're getting some momentum. 5 hours seems more reasonable. I would rather people do something than nothing. You know what I mean? 5 hours seems very reasonable for getting this thing off the ground and getting this thing rolling.
Well, and this is super part-time because that's 20 hours a month.
Right.
Not per week.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's like part-time.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So, you guys have this. I'm telling you, it is once you start implementing this and once you start putting it into your schedule, once you understand that talking to 200 people is the key to it. 200 people on specific lists. Obviously, we break down the lists on this channel, so you can certainly go back and find out who to find there. But building up your Driving for Dollars, that's an easy one. Make sure that you're doing that, and you're going to be off and running. You know, it's just making sure that you have enough people to call, that you have those conversations, that those 200 conversations. To have those 200 conversations, you're going to need about 2,000 addresses, because your contact rate will be around 10%. That's when you know you have good data. And Deal Machine right there, great tool for Driving for Dollars. Yep.
I just want to emphasize, you know, those numbers, like, they didn't come out of thin air, right? That's not just based on your business, but working with, you know, at this point, thousands of students in the TTP coaching program. So those are the numbers, right?
Yeah. Not only that, we're going to start like really making it obvious. We're coming out with the numbers analyzer in our program. This is going to be game changer accountability. And this thing comes out in a couple weeks. If you're in the TTP family already, I'm telling you guys, get ready, strap in. This is going to be absolutely bananas. There's going to be a high level of accountability. But basically, you track how many people that you've called, how many people you've talked to, how many leads that you have, how many appointments you've gone on, how much money you've made every single day. I'm able to see it so that when we talk about the results and when we look at all the results from around the country, we know what the numbers are. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm really excited about that. That's going to be TTP 2.0 for sure. Yeah, it's going to be bananas. So get ready for that. Get ready for that. What do we got? Do we have some questions popping up, bubbling to the surface? Let's open this up. Let's crack open this. Luis, yeah, a beautiful Sunday morning with my pastor, TTP Preach. Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes I feel that way. You know what I mean? I mean, you just get so passionate and you have faith in something so strong. I know that if you actually take the actions that we're talking about, you're going to be successful. I mean, very similar to, you know, faith in general. So just, I mean, the more that you put into your faith, the more that it's going to impact your life, and it's going to really dictate where you go in life and who you hang out with in life and what you do. So I think, you know, I want you obviously to have the faith that you can do this, but I want you to cross that faith bridge to it being a fact as fast as possible. Because once it's a fact, all of a sudden you have different wrinkles in your brain. You have different electric signals in your brain that goes, I know how to do this, and I can do this again and again and again. And now I understand what Brent's talking about. Now I understand what other people out there are talking about that are successful. That's what I want for you, and I want that as fast as possible. But obviously, we have to get to those 200 conversations. We have to get to those 200 conversations. All right?
This has to go with the chart that we just did.
Okay, Sean, what does 2K addresses in the same market? Does that mean 2,000 addresses in the same market? I'm sorry, Sean. No, I mean, listen, it's 2,000 addresses, distressed addresses anywhere. It could be anywhere in the country. You know what I mean? You could be calling in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you could be calling in San Antonio, Texas. You know what I mean? It's 2,000 addresses of distressed property owners. All right, distressed property owners. And I'm telling you, this market is incredible. This market is absolutely incredible. You know, people keep talking. You know, it's very clickbaity to be like, the market's crashing. Here's what the market's crashing. Let me understand. We are in a boom. We're not in a bubble. That's just a fact. We're in a boom. Go research it with anybody that is like top data scientists in the country, in the world. This is a boom. This is not a bubble. This is not propped up by something fake. All right. This is a fact that we just didn't build enough houses in the market. We didn't build enough new construction for all the new babies being born and all the people growing up over the last 10 years. We had a huge reduction. Almost only a third of the houses that typically get built in a decade were built between 2010 and 2020. So we have a lack of inventory. We have really cheap money, even cheaper money. It keeps going down. I don't know how they do it, Mike. I mean, the Fed is just like, yeah, let's roll with this, baby. I mean, it's crazy. Pop up that meme of the market. I love this. And listen, if you're not a Tom Brady fan, that's fine. But this is it. This is truly it. Like, You know, I'll just wait until the market crashes and the market just keeps getting better. You know what I mean? Like that whole buy real estate and wait, don't wait to buy real estate thing is really interesting and impactful. So anyway, start taking action. The market is absolutely incredible. There's no signs of it doing something crazy where all of a sudden, you know, what was the talk? There's going to be millions of foreclosures. It's going to be a bloodbath out there as soon as they open up this moratorium. And apparently people didn't realize that like 90+% of everybody just did a loan modification so that they can stay in their property and move forward. So listen, there's plenty of distressed property lists. There's 6 to 10% of the market is in distress at all times. We have over 10 million vacant properties based on the 2020 U.S. Census that have been vacant for over a year. Don't give me this, there's not enough deals. Don't give me this, there's too much competition. Don't give me this, which market's better than which market. The market that's better, and I'll tell you this, is going for properties that are over 200,000. Over 200,000 fixed up, that's the market. There are buyers. If the property values are over 200,000, there are cash buyers everywhere for that market, everywhere, or the prices wouldn't be that high. So just think about that. Think about that.
That's your best answer for that so
It
far,
is.
because people are always asking. You know, that's good.
Yeah, which market's better? Where should I go? What's hot? What's not? Everybody, listen, everybody knows that it's a seller's market. Everybody knows that there's a lack of inventory. You know what? Nobody cares that we do business with. The people we do business with will trade equity for speed and convenience, or potential equity. You know, Jamil talks about it, and he talks about these property conditions, and we're paying market value based on the condition of the property. It's the absolute truth. This is the value of the property based on the condition. If you've got like some beat up old, you know, supercharged car that's been sitting out, some sort of Mustang or whatever. I'm not a car guy, obviously, but you've got some sort of, this is a great car analogy. You've got some sort of car that's out there rusting, but apparently the frame is good and whatever else. It's not going to sell for what a brand new, totally renovated car sells for. It's going to sell for whatever the seller, you know, whatever a buyer's willing to pay. Why are we different with real estate? It makes no sense. There's no sense. The market doesn't determine the value. The seller doesn't determine the value. Appraisers don't determine the value. The seller, like real estate agents, the seller, the market, Zillow, nobody determines the value. You know who determines the value in real estate? A ready, willing, and able buyer. That's it. So go with confidence. You are locking up deals at a price that makes sense based on the condition of that property or based on what the seller wants for that property. Some sellers don't care. Some sellers want you to make money, and they feel that that's good for their soul. What are you going to do? Tell them no? Like, you don't know them. You don't know what's going on inside their brain. You don't know what their soul's telling them what to do. You know what I mean? So just go there and talk to enough people. And I'm telling you, that Dolph DeRoos quote that the deal of a lifetime comes around once a week is absolutely factual. Factual. Jeremy sold 3. We've got 4 deals this week that he needs to sell. Sold 3 for $167,000 this week. $167,000 this week. This week. I'm telling you, I don't do a lot of deals. I really don't. People that, you know, are doing the 100, 200, 300 plus deals have big overhead and big teams. I don't want all that mess. I want a good mindset, an incredible lifestyle, and I want to keep most of the money. Think about that. Think about that when you decide who you want to follow and really emulate. What is their lifestyle? Are they having like freak out anxiety attacks all the time? Are they having problems? You know, are they living the lifestyle that you want? Or that you feel is like really important? That's what I think you should be looking at when you look at who you should be listening to and getting information from. I really do. So I just don't understand people that like freak out all the time and lose their minds because they build these huge businesses and it's a terrible lifestyle. Bigger's not always better. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. So just think about that. But we're talking part-time. We're talking about building this up. We're talking about all these things. So, you know, you absolutely can do this. I think Tom Kroll's the best example of that. Tom Kroll was just the best. He just did everything from home, multi-millionaire, and like literally all day long, can do whatever he wants. It's incredible. And most of the time he's giving value in this business. And now he's doing consulting for businesses. Oh my gosh, it's bananas. Anyway, what do we got? Do we have any celebrations so far? Do we have anybody closing? Oh, come on, Glenn. I love it. I absolutely love it. I got a closing date for the 37th novation deal set to close on October 15th or earlier. Congratulations, Glenn. Here we go. I love it. I love it, Glenn. That is incredible. Congratulations. 37K novation deal. We should bring on somebody to talk novations. I don't know if it's going to be Pace or somebody else, but we'll bring somebody on to talk novations because, to be honest, I'm not sold on them, but Glenn, you're getting me sold on them. So that's absolutely incredible. Congratulations, novation deal, $37,000. Maybe we'll get Corey Geary on. Maybe he's a TTP alumni. Get him in. I know that he's talking about that a lot as well. So if you have any thoughts on that, who you want to hear from and have me talk to about novation deals, make sure that you put in the comments who that is, and I'll see if I can wrangle them in or at least get them virtually so that we could talk to them. All right? Awesome. Been using your old script. Do you still advise teams to use this? Yes, Ralph. I mean, really, there's not a tremendous amount of change. You know, what I want, the script is designed and tested and confirmed to be the most effective because it's straight to the point in the opening. Remember, when we are calling somebody up, we have 5 seconds. 5 seconds with our tone of voice, the pace of which we say our words, and the words that we use to get the next 30 seconds. So if we have good energy and we're talking to them like we already know them, they usually open up that door just a little to give us that extra 30 seconds to let them know why we're calling. And then from there, we find those opportunities. So, yep, same script, and stick to it. I mean, people like taking my script and making it their own and kind of watering it down a little bit. But I'm telling you, the people that are most successful are the people that just use the script and just use it word for word. Awesome. 50,000 subscribers. Holy cow. Alejandra and I started 3 years ago, and what a journey. What an absolute journey. It's been a blessing. Been incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Started with 50 subscribers, and I was doing book reports on YouTube. Mark, hey, Brent. Been trying to get my first deal since November 2020. I'm driving DoorDash to pay bills and business expenses. Power dialer, batchskiptracin, and deal machine. All right, great. Keep it going, Mark. Remember, 200 contacts. You know, I think that, you know, it's really interesting when we have a conversation in regular life, or if there was like, if I did like a video or a post and there was like 199 people like totally like blasting me, I would be like, oh my gosh, what the heck just happened here? But then there was like one good comment that was like, yeah, that's amazing. It would be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, right? Like I did something wrong. But it's the flip for when you're making calls. So the problem is we're not used to getting rejected 199 times. We're not used to people being negative and bringing negative into our brain 199 times. That's why I start out every single time this Wednesday on mindset, because it's absolutely critical for that motivation to have that imagination, to look past that, to think of that $1,000 an hour that you're earning and not all these people that just don't need to work with you right now or don't want to work with you right now, whether they have somebody else that's going to take care of it or whether they just don't want to sell that property right now. That's fine. But the beautiful thing is the one person that does makes it all worthwhile, right? And I'm telling you, you get rejected 199 times. Oh my gosh, it makes life so much easier to communicate because, you know, you just really have a bulletproof mentality, a bulletproof psyche that you're like, okay, I understand. Like, it's like you got to live your life and I understand it and I'm going to do my thing. I'm just trying to provide value. And it's huge. Yeah. What are you guys laughing about? Oh boy, we're going to be comping a really good one here soon. So Mark, listen, stick to it. Stick to it. Listen, I understand, but here's the thing. If it's December, you should have gotten your deal by early April. It's about 90 days. It's a 90-day cycle from the first time you talk to somebody to getting closed. All right. So what I would do is I would look at all your leads and I would find your top 5 to 10 leads and that are really hot that will consider doing business with you. And I need you to be obsessed with them. And I need you to get in contact with them. And I need you to follow up with them. And I need you to get on those appointments. And your goal should be to lock up a deal this week, Mark. That's your goal. Lock up a deal this week. You need to imagine that I am your boss and I'm going to fire you if you don't get a deal this week. Because sometimes we just, we're fearful of success. We're fearful of them saying yes, and then we're like, oh my gosh, can I really do this? You can really do this. All right? So if you need to put it on to having a boss or that mentality is a lot stronger. I have a lot of students that are like that are just like, I need you to be like my partner, my boss that's like telling me what to do and keeping me accountable. And I totally get that. We're kind of like trained that way since we were young. And so I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy to anybody on here. I'll be that guy that's just like, you need to get a deal this week or you're fired, right? Or you need to we're going to have some problems. But you should have enough in your lead pipeline, Mark, that you close a deal. You should be able to lock up a deal this week. At least, I'll give you a 7-day window from today until next week. I'd love for you to come on the show and say that actually we don't have a show next week. I'll explain that. But I would love for you to come back and to say that you locked up a deal. All right? There you go, Mark. Awesome. Ruben. Brent, how do I convince my parents that I really want to do this? I'm 16 and been trying to do this, but my parents don't let me meet up with local investors so they can teach me. Well, I think, Ruben, what you have to do is lay it all out. Let's put together a presentation. Let's put together your thoughts here. Let's put together why you want to do this and that you're serious about it and that this is something that you truly want to do. And I think that if you talk about, this is what I think the impact that I can make, this is why I want to do this. 16 years old, man. I mean, congratulations. I'm telling you, by the time you're 30, it's going to be absolutely bananas. I know you can't think about that, let alone 25, let alone 21. But if you're building these principles and these foundations right now, brother, you're going to be absolutely unstoppable. So I think, one, it's just trying to get your parents on board with what the vision is and making that a clear vision for them and explaining it to them. And if not, listen, Ruben, you're connected to the internet. You're connected to literally everybody. Like, find somebody that you can squat up with and FaceTime with. Find somebody that you could squat up and have conversations with locally, or do some sort of Google Hangout, or do some sort of FaceTime or whatever it is. Don't let that stop you. You could do it all from your house. If they're not comfortable with you going out and meeting all these people and doing that and getting into the world, I understand. But you've got access to everybody. You got access to this. Squat up with people in the comments here. I'd love to know where you live, Ruben, so that maybe somebody in the comments here can squat up with you and help support you. And then obviously if it's somebody that's doing a great job and is successful and has a really great ethics and morals, introducing them to your parents would be really powerful as well. So listen, they're coming from a place of love. They're coming from a place of wanting you to be secure. They're coming from a place of, a little bit of, apprehension that they're not exactly sure what this world is, which most people don't. So I think if you find somebody that's a really good example and you start building relationships with people virtually, you're going to be unstoppable. And you're 16. I mean, build this thing up. Practice. And it'll get to the point where your parents are excited for you because you're really into it. That's what parents want. Parents want you to be really interested and motivated to do something. You know what I mean? And if they see that sparkle in your eyes and that fire in your belly, they're gonna come. They're gonna come to your side. Great question. Wow, 16, Mike. Jeez, 16. I think you were dating Brandis Holland, who it's her birthday tomorrow. 41 years old. Did you know that? How about that? This guy's going after deals. You're dating Brandis Holland. Jeez Louise. There you go. Shout out to Brandis. Hey, Brent, any tips on wholesaling in the U.S. market from Canada? Yeah, number one, and I'm not sure who this is on IG, but number one, make sure that I would pick a market that is a non-judicial market, right? So the foreclosures don't have to go through the court process. So I'd look for those markets that are non-judicial. If you follow Jamil Damji, well, you could just Google it. Just Google non-judicial markets, but it just makes there's more money flowing in those markets because the hard money and private money lenders don't have to go through such a lengthy process to get their properties back if somebody defaults. So there's some advantages. There's big advantages for those markets. The second thing is I would go and I would find the absolute best escrow officer that you can. The absolute best in whatever market that is. Literally just post to real estate groups in that market, real estate investing groups in that market, and just say who's the best escrow officer in that market and see who responds, because that is going to be your biggest key teammate if you're doing this from Canada and you're going after the U.S. market, because they're going to coordinate everything. And when they coordinate everything, it makes it a lot easier to do this virtually. And this really is an answer for anybody that's doing virtual. And it's going to be exciting. We have Lauren Hardy coming in a couple weeks. We'll give an announcement, not this next week, but the week after. She's going to be in, and she is the virtual wholesaling master. Like, nobody's coached more people in virtual wholesaling. She's absolutely incredible and had the most success and part of Wholesaling Inc.'s coaching crew. So she's going to be on, and she's going to blow your face off. So do not miss that 2 weeks from now. All right. Glenn, I lost $100K on my first 2 deals to my JV partner stealing the fee and a lying seller. And I'm finally closing on my 3rd deal for $37K profit. Well, Glenn, listen. Welcome to the club, brother. I am telling you, that was a ridiculous laugh. I am telling you, I lost $92. I guffawed right there because I lost $92,000 my first 3 deals in assignment fees because I didn't know what wholesaling was. So first of all, congratulations on $37K. Boom. Congratulations on $37K and sticking with it. Listen, these are, sometimes we got to pay that tax. Some people call it the stupid tax. Some people just call it experience tax. Whatever you want to call that tax, that's something that's in your brain now. It's in your experience. It's in the old file cabinet. Yeah, the old noggin, the old file cabinet and the noggin deal. And listen, you have it, right? You have it. You know what happened to make those circumstances happen, and you can avoid it. So I'm glad that you have that now. Now think about this. Think about if it was your 300th deal and you've got 5 people working for you. They're all expecting to get their commission checks on this. All of a sudden it melts, and now you've got very disappointed business. So I'm glad that it happened to you now, Glenn. It's going to make you a stronger professional, a stronger leader. Take that $37K. I want you to keep $36,500 of it. Take the other $500, buy some more numbers, and get some more deals. All right? Remember, listen, wholesaling is a cash machine. Okay? Wholesaling is not an asset. Listen to me. It is a cash machine. It is the money that we get, the $37K that we get to either fund our life so that we can do this full time and have the freedom to find even more opportunities. That's the first part. And then we start buying assets. Then all of a sudden our money works for us. The beautiful thing is our income is equal to the amount of value we provide, right? But then you take this income and you put it into assets, and guess what that asset does? It provides value. Whether it's housing, whether you're funding other people's deals, whether you're developing land and getting profits that way, that money now is working and providing value. So you've essentially duplicated yourself, tripled yourself, 10x'd yourself, 100x'd yourself by taking the money and not spending it, but investing it in assets that then return money. That is wealth. That's the difference between rich and wealth. Like, it is not that difficult of a concept. It's just difficult in practice because we love all the cool stuff out there. We love it. We deserve it. We want it. We deserve the experiences and the vacations and the whatever, the dinners and the fancy stuff. We love all that, and it's exciting, and it attracts our brains, and we see it on Instagram. We get excited. We see all these things, and it keeps popping up, and all of a sudden the internet knows what things that we like, and it's all around us, surrounding us all the time. If you could shut that thing out for just a bit, all of that, so you could buy all of that stuff. You could buy all that stuff with the assets that you bought. That's incredible. That's the key. That's the plan. That's the yellow brick road to Oz, right? That's where it is. So, old school reference there.
We got a ton of questions today.
Good.
These people are going, they love it.
We're going to question. Okay,
Yeah.
Glenn, Brent, I'm about to assign $12 million
And
property
celebrations.
to an all. I mean, what are we doing? What's Glenn's out of control. Glenn's out of control. I'm about to assign a $12 million
This is a great
property
day.
to an all-cash buyer. What are you going to make on that, Glenn? Come on, bring it. The audience is curious. The audience wants to know. Glenn, congratulations. I mean, just incredible. Guys, the reason I love celebrating success in here is because there are people that are just starting out, people that are just, or maybe they've been looking at this for a year, 6 months, whatever it is, and they're finally starting to make the decision. They're finally starting to get the confidence and seeing that this is real life. Nobody's in here. Nobody's on a Wednesday just going like, I'm gonna feel good about myself and lie on this live channel. It's not. These are people doing it. Go meet them. Go see their deals. I'm telling you, it's incredible. Great job, Glenn. Tony, know the vibes. Where do you find the most success finding sellers first of cash buyer or cash buyer? Oh, I assume that's an or. Okay. Where do you find the most success finding sellers first or cash buyers? Listen, in this market, I would find the sellers. So there's a couple different things that's really interesting. So let's talk real quick, Tony, about a seller's market and a buyer's market, right? It's all based on supply and demand. When you have a buyer's market, you've got a lot of inventory, things are sitting, and the power is in the buyer's hands. The power is building up that portfolio of buyers that you go out and you almost reverse wholesale. They tell you what to look for, you go find it, lock it up, and assign it for them. Or you become like a bid service. You're bidding at the auctions, you're doing that type of thing, and your cash buyer database is literally everything. Now, this is a market that typically is high interest rates. This is when properties get to the point where there's just too many new construction, new properties coming on the market to keep up with the buyers. We're not going to deal with that for a while. So while we're in this seller's market, the gold is in finding the discounted property because everything is getting bid up. Everything is competitive. There's not enough people. I mean, it's like PlayStation, what is it now, Matt? 5, right? Yeah. They're like sold out because they don't have chips, and now people are buying them and putting them on eBay for double the cost, right? Triple the cost, right? And so it's the same thing with houses. Like, houses are going to keep going up if there's not enough inventory, right? And just like there's not enough computer chips for PS5s, there's not enough houses for humans to live in this country. All right. So that's why we've got this market and the seller's market. So going after and getting a good deal, a discounted property, and then bringing it to your buyers, woo, sells fast. If it's a deal, it shouldn't be a problem getting that deal sold. You know what I'm saying? And so I really like posting on social media and just saying, what do the kids say now? No cap. Right? No cap means, what does that mean, Alejandra? Like, not kidding? Yeah. Right? So, like, no cap, have a great discounted property in whatever area. DM me if you want some information, right? Or whatever.
No cap.
No cap. You know, no, I mean, honestly, because some people fish in certain real estate Facebook groups. They're like, hey, I've got a discounted property, send me your email, and they're just building email. Like, if you give them a little bit of no cap, test it out and see what happens. Huh? Mike's going to say it now? All right. JVC. Oh, there we go. You've got this. JVC, Javier, listen, you've got this. Remember, certainty and likability.
Oh,
certainty,
yeah.
Likability. That's where you're going in. I know that you've already pre-qualified because you're a TTP family member, all right? And I know that you've got them pre-qualified. I know that it is just a matter of going on that appointment and getting it signed. So if you're going right now, listen, we got another hour and 10 minutes. We're going to be ripping and running. So you better post here when you get that locked up. I would love to see a picture of that if they can even do that. I don't know. You could just do comments. Well, write it. Just put a great description of it, and we'll imagine it in our heads. There you go.
No cap.
No cap. Oh no, we're letting Mike loose. Okay, Jared closed a $22K deal yesterday. Astro student in Virginia, VA. Let's squad up. Come on, Jared. I am telling you right now. Jared, here's the deal. Fantastic. I love that you posted this. Everybody, listen, squad up. Keep going, Jared. Keep squatting up. Keep listening to what Jamil's teaching you over there. Referrals are absolutely an incredible way to keep a lot of the profits. Listen, in the beginning, we start and we're really, 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 really proactive. And as we get proactive, we become successful. It's inevitable. You will win. If you talk to enough people, 200, one of them was going to do business with you, and it's going to work like that, all right? The only reason not is if you really are bad on the phone, and I'd love to hear those conversations, and you can send it to me. I'll break it down on this channel. But listen, you should be able to be building this up. You will be successful being proactive. And then at some point, what happens is you start getting excited about this business. You start getting confident. You start having the courage to actually post and let everybody know on social media and the world that you're in this business. And then guess what happens? People start wanting to squat up with you. People start wanting to do JV deals with you. People start wanting to send you opportunities because they know that you love properties that need a lot of love. You want properties that you can renovate, right? And then all of a sudden you start getting these referrals for deals. And I mean, we've closed close to 400,000 this year just from referrals. And that's just pure profit. Just pure profit. And that's no cap.
I told you.
It's going to be bad. We let Mike loose. Okay. Congratulations, Jared. But listen, the referral part of the business is key to building a long-term business. Build that network up of people that are going to refer you business. These are real estate agents. These are other investors that don't want to do the dispo side or just don't they just are getting started and don't really have the opportunity to do the dispo side. These are people that are neighbors. These are people that are family members or just people that you went to high school with or whatever, whoever you're connected, college, work, whatever it is. And now they know that you're a real estate investor, that you're going to start sending you opportunities and you got to take them and close them and keep all those profits and invest in assets, become wealthy, and then bada bing, you're doing whatever you want. Freedom of schedule. Alessio, I work a full-time job. Yep. I'm also a part-time real estate agent. All right. How do you incorporate traditional real estate and the wholesaling part? I got rid of traditional 100%, Alessio. It depends on what you want to do. I found that the best client that I could have as a real estate agent is myself. And I love that because I can make the decision. I'm not working for somebody else. Remember, as a real estate agent, you have a different boss every single day, every single week with whatever clients you have, whether they be buyers or whether they be sellers. So if you want to keep up the part-time traditional work as a real estate agent and that fuels you, that makes you feel really great and like you get joy from it, not just happiness, but real fulfillment, then continue to do that and then just wait for the properties that are in really rough condition and go after those. But my suggestion for you, just from a coaching standpoint, coaching you right now is get rid of the traditional stuff, focus on wholesaling. I was making on average 2.7% on real estate transactions. Now it's at 10%. Actually, it's at 16% for us, but the average is 10%. So I was averaging like checks that were like, I don't know, like 12,000 and now, or 13,000, and now they're 42,000. I mean, That's like selling a $1.5 million house every single week. I mean, it adds up, Alessio. So I would highly suggest that you go hard at the distressed market in your community, because other real estate agents aren't wanting or willing or experienced or skillful enough to do it, but you are. So just follow this channel and start implementing your wholesaling strategy more than the traditional side. What do you guys think about my little stubble? Huh? Pretty good, huh? It's starting to turn fall. You know what I mean? So got to protect it. Yeah, got to protect the face a little bit. All right, from IG, where can I get proof of funds? Is there any reason why we shouldn't go after a house on MLS without an end buyer? I don't. Hold on, I'm getting you this response because we did this for $7. You get a proof of funds from Kogo Capital. Kogo, C-O-G-O capital.com. That was a resource that Jamil, that's why I keep the notes, that Jamil talked about on Monday. I think I'm talking about him so much because I actually got to see him. That's great. So you can get it from there. Listen, I highly suggest, one of the first steps that you take is find somebody in your market or that has the funds to close these deals. All right. One, it's going to give you a huge amount of confidence. Two, you can go as the buyer. If you don't have somebody like that and you're just like, yeah, I'm the buyer, but you don't have the ability to purchase that, you could get into hot water. You need to have the ability to purchase. And it's a wonderful, wonderful discipline to only lock up deals that you would close on yourself. I'm telling you, the only time that we've had to cancel deals are like, I don't want to do that. And that was a while ago. I mean, it just doesn't happen often. But sometimes they're like, well, I see potential here. My team will say, I see potential here. And I'll be like, okay, but I don't really like it. I wouldn't close on it. And it ends up that it's not a deal. You got to go with that instinct. So just make sure. And then with an MLS deal, now you're just adding an agent to the list. And if that agent is a successful agent and you burn them, you're not going to get any more deals from them, which you could. This could be $1 million relationship. I'm not joking. That's not hyperbole. I'm not like amping this thing up. Literally, you can have agents that refer you business that you can make, over the lifetime of the relationship, over $1 million. I mean, you could have 50 of those people. Imagine that. So you don't want to lock up something with somebody that's in the business, that is giving good, that is finding distressed property owners and working with them to list their house, and then you cancel on the deal, and then they get a sour taste. So keep your reputation clean. Awesome. Will Escalante, I love that word. Can I do this with little to no money down for EMD? Yeah. I mean, I think most people around the country put either zero earnest money down, or if it's required in your state, just Google it. Is earnest money required in a real estate transaction to make it valid in my state? Then put $1, put $10, put $100. You know what I mean? But most people put usually about $10, Will. So makes it very reasonable, makes it possible. And if you're in a state that doesn't require it for a valid purchase agreement, then don't do any. Yeah. A lot of celebrations. Closing a deal the 28th for $20K. Locked up one yesterday. I plan to make 17 and have an appointment today that might lead to another $20K. The ball don't stop rolling. How much is that, Mike? What is that total for Michael? 57,000, Michael. Congratulations. Here we go. Now listen, Michael. Here's the deal. With that, 57K, I want you to keep 55 of that, 56 of whatever. And if you want, if you got your eyes on the guitar and you want to celebrate and buy that new whatever guitar, do it. Do it. Small little things. That's not going to affect your, all the way down the line. Now, certainly you can invest it, but it's nice to give yourself a little bonus, a little celebration, whether it's a nice steak dinner, whether it's a nice date night, whether it's a nice little, weekend staycation or something, whether it's, a guitar or something, a pen, a very nice Mont Blanc pen, whatever it is, celebrate a little bit and then keep rolling. Just keep rolling. You don't have to go crazy and be like, oh, I'm going to go and get a Mercedes and get tied into $1,000 a month for the next 7 years. And, oh, by the way, the insurance is an additional $500 a month. Gas is a bunch of $300 a month. And, keeping it updated and the tags and everything's another, $3,000 a year. Listen, watch the cars. Go have a little fun with some of the small stuff. But if you're getting into a payment situation on a liability, you're going the wrong direction. For real, it is. It's going to impact your mindset because it's going to stress you out. The idea is low stress, high action, high income, buy assets, let those assets go to work, baby. That's the plan. Boom. Can we have do you have like an atom bomb or something? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's more like grenade or something. Okay. Hey, Brent, since wholesaling is being frowned upon with more regulations on its way, I understand that you may double close a deal, but how do you market the contract since it's forbidden? There are some strong words there. It's frowned upon by people that don't understand what it is, first of all. I don't think the general public finds it frowned upon. Regulations, I think regulations are a good thing. I think that licensing is probably the way that it should go. I've been talking about it, so watch for that. Either get a partner that has a license or get a license yourself. But I don't see any problem with that at all. I think that that's fantastic. I think it only gives credibility to what we do. What's that? Yeah, closing on the deals. And when you do a double close, you can still market the contract. You just got to make sure that they understand that you're marketing the contract and you're closing that deal, but you're also closing it with the buyer. So I would watch the words that we use: frowned upon, forbidden, all of these things. I mean, we're doing it every single day. Nobody's frowning at me. You know what I mean? Nobody's telling me I'm eating the forbidden fruit or anything like that. You know what I mean? I think that it's exciting that we have the opportunity to go after properties that are in some sort of, and I'm not messing with you. I'm just saying that that affects our psyche. Like if you say that wholesaling is getting a closer look at and they're wanting to license people more, yes, that's absolutely true. And I think that that's exciting. And is it something that marketing the contract, if you're marketing the contract, and it's required you to have a license, then you're in the rules. So I don't see anything wrong, Yeah. And double close. Yeah, you can double close it. It's a good strategy. Hey, Brent, can you talk about the disclosures that you need to make to sellers if you are a licensed agent or broker? B. Le May. Yeah, so in our contract, I can only speak to my business because obviously I'm not an attorney and obviously I don't know all the different states' disclosure regulations. But in Arizona, we have to disclose that we have an active real estate license. So that's baked into every single one of our purchase contracts, is that a member of the LLC has an active real estate license. That's it. So I would just talk to your broker and just call, here in Arizona, we have the legal helpline. Yeah, for brokers. Brokers have like a legal helpline that you should be able, your broker probably has one that you could call and talk to an attorney and just say, hey, listen, what do I need? When I'm purchasing properties, what disclosure do I need in the purchase contract? But definitely do it. You don't want to have to spend the time and energy explaining it to the Department of Real Estate in your state. Maxwell, do you think first-timers should stay away from multifamily? Just bought a list, but I'm thinking I should stick to single-family. Maxwell, listen, there's really not much difference. I mean, yes, there's some, what do you get for rents? What's the potential? But if you are finding discounted multifamily, those are the easiest for us to sell, like for real. That's the biggest pool of buyers that we have right now is for multifamily. People love it. People love multifamily. Now, obviously, I'm in Phoenix. It's a high appreciation market. They're saying, well, I can get good rents. It's going to cover it. It's not too much cash flow. We're not a cash flow market. We're an appreciation market, but it's going to appreciation forever, and it's a good tax write-off. So the wealthy like that the cash flow, it gives them a little bit of cash flow, and they get to take advantage of appreciation and depreciation of the asset. So I wouldn't get scared on it. If you, not that you are scared, but I wouldn't shy away from it, because there's a huge amount of sellers, or there's a huge amount of buyers that are looking for those deals. Here's the only thing, Maxwell. Get their bottom line, see what other multifamilies are selling for in that area, and if you're lower than them, it's going to be a good deal. Okay? Just try to be 10 to 15% lower than any of the other properties that are on the market or that have sold, and you're going to be in good shape. Now, obviously, if there's a model match, if there's a property that sold and it went for a good price, you know, that's the one that you want to look at if it's in similar condition. So make sure that you're really taking advantage of Google Maps, Google Satellites, all that. Jared. Oh, you know I will. 30K. How we're over 100,000 just in the comments, just from what you've put up so far. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely. Come on. That is incredible, Jared. Congratulations. What is the tally so far? What about you? Had 57, 30. What is it? All right, we're gonna. If there's more, we're gonna add it to this. We're gonna just put this up here.
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more?
Yeah.
Well, we'll add it up here every time. There we go. Plus, we'll start there. We'll see where this thing ends up at. All right. Let's see. If you've got it, make sure that you post in here and comment, and we'll add you to the board. There you go. I'll even put your name on the board. How about that, Nate? Sorry for the other guys that were earlier. Jared, you go on first. There you go. Woo. Awesome work, Jared.
You ready to comp?
Yep. Oh, we're comping? Oh, Michael back at it. Indianapolis. All right. I see you. Indianapolis is one of those markets, man. It is just all over the place. It is interesting, interesting, interesting. I had a student in Indianapolis. Remember that? Sent me that video. He did cash for keys with the tenant, was staying at an Airbnb, had the tenant come to his Airbnb, give him the cash for keys, and then the dude showed up later and put 10 bullets into the house. Crazy. Indianapolis is a wild, wild town. 6174 East 24th Street, Indianapolis. Okay. Do we have any other details, Hundra?
Yes.
Okay.
It says the seller has a tenant who hasn't paid rent in over a year. Currently in eviction process, wants to sell now. Condition is good. Price is 60K.
60K. Awesome. So let's look between the lines. Guys, here we are. TTPdata.com, powered by PropStream. This is PropStream. Absolutely incredible. TTPdata.com. We're going to look in between. I want to read the story of this before I get too much. Now, I know that the guy wants 60,000, but look at this. This is really interesting. Length of ownership, 8 years, 8 months. So this is like 2012, 2013, right? Bought it cash. This is interesting to note. Cash sale right here.
You can say this tenant will not do cash for keys. He doesn't care to get evicted.
So you got to go through the eviction process. Awesome. All right. So cash sale. Woo! That's $5,000. So this guy bought this house in 2013 for $5,000, which is, I'm telling you, Indianapolis is bananas. So let's take a look at this. I want to take a look at the aerial. I want to kind of get an idea of where this is at. Now, this is beautiful. Look at this, guys. It's in the middle of the subdivision. That's fantastic. Now, if it would have backed this, you would have to take a reduction, about a 20% reduction, because it backs the freeway. If it backed this or sided this, another 20% reduction, maybe a little bit less because it's not a freeway, but it's in the middle. So that's fantastic. That's great opportunity. Now let's look at it. Let's see the little headshot here, right? Let's see what this thing looks like. Looks clean. This isn't bad. This looks like clean. Looks like the roof is getting there, right? The roof looks dated, but it looks like the lawn is well kept. I mean, this was a $5,000 house in 2013. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to get a feel for the neighborhood, see what's going on, see if they're, if they're pretty similar. This is going to be a pretty, I think it's going to be pretty simple to comp because a lot of these properties look like they were built by the same builder. And when they're built by the same builder, then they have the same floor plans. They have the same floor plans. Then it is, the value of these properties are pretty similar to each other. Now, one thing I want to look at is this. Okay, this owner owns 8 properties. Really interesting. Has 8 properties here and pretty much bought them all at the same time. This one was a little bit later, but the rest of them he bought in the downturn. I mean, he's going to make a fortune because he bought it when properties were at their absolute lowest. So, to me, he's selling this because he bought this thing for nothing. He's probably got some money into it. He owns it free and clear. It's not like he's losing a tremendous amount. He is losing some money with property taxes and some fix-up costs. But if the tenant's not paying, he's throwing out $60,000 because he's like, well, listen, I bought it for this and put this amount of money in, and if I get a return, that'll be great. So $60,000 is interesting. We'll take a look and see what's going on. I like going to this neighbors button first. See how beautiful this is? It pulls all these 100 neighbors that are the closest to this property. Now, it's going to show you all the different sale dates, but I go to 2021. I'm looking right here. You got a row house, which ours is not a row house. Ours is a single family house, but it's 1,600 square feet, went for $43,600. You've got another property in 2020, 46, 43, 85. All right, so because we don't have a tremendous amount of comps that have sold, this is probably why you're reaching out. Because we don't have a tremendous amount of comps in 2021, I want to look at the comparables button. Yeah, well, that should be an interesting. So next door, right here, look at this. Sold for $77,000. Fantastic. Look at that. $77,000 is a 1-bath. What's ours? Is ours a 1-bath? Doesn't say, but I would assume it's probably a 1-bath. Maybe not. Yeah, okay. He owes a little bit in taxes, but look, your next door neighbor, this is your comp right here, bro. This is at $77,000. Let's take a look. I mean, this is the same house. I mean, essentially, it's clean, right? This is move-in. That's updated to some degree. $77,000. Look at the kitchen. $77,000 for this property. This guy wants retail, man. I mean, he's asking retail. I would throw out $10,000 and see what he says. Well, let's do the exercise. Let's do the exercise real quick, just so that we see. I want to see. This is a 1-car garage. I want to see what ours is. I think ours is a 1-car. It might be a 2-car garage, which gives us a little bit of advantage. We might bump this thing up to $85,000. It's a 3-1 1-car garage. So there's 1 car. This is a 3-1. Next door neighbor sold, and it is this guy right here sold for $77,000 in good shape, with a new roof. Now this is, maybe this is before it was renovated. So let's take a look at this. Okay. Let's take a look. We've got an ARV. Let's just say it's going to get a little bit more. Let's just say ARV. What in the world just happened here? 80,000. 80,000. Okay. That looks crazy. And then so we're going to times this by 0.6. Right? This is the closing cost, 0.06, sorry, closing costs. We're going to take 6% off for closing costs. So that is 4,800.
75,
6% of 80,000.
well, yeah, 6% is,
Minus 6% is 75,200.
75,000.
Yeah.
200. Okay. Now we know if this property needs some love, which I assume it does, unless he's totally renovated it. You've got an investor that's going to want to make $20,000 minimum, an equity or in profit. This is profit or equity. Now this can be a little bit played with, but let's just keep it solid right now. So that puts us at 55, 200. Okay, right? And then so you've got the closing costs, you've got the profit. This thing's 900 square feet. Will you pull up the chart, Matt, of the fix-up cost estimate? All right, as Matt's working on that, it's an older property. It's 900 square feet. So let's say we're not going to get too crazy, but it does look like it needs a new roof. I would say $25K, but I'm going to go, needs work. I would say $25K, but I'm going to add $5K for the roof. So we're going to subtract $30K here. And there's your wholesale price. This is what you can sell to a cash buyer is $35,200. So this guy's over the moon. This guy does not need to sell. This guy is going for retail, $35,200. So I would offer this person, for me, I would be looking at, $25,000 would be the purchase.
Well, 25.2.
25.2.
55
Yeah.
there was 25.2 minus
What are you talking about?
55,200.
Oh, 25. 25.2. So I'd be at 15. Yeah. Yeah.
So offer 10, see what he says.
Yeah. Yeah, he's way over his skis. I mean, he bought a cash for nothing. Like, listen, I am telling you this, and we talk about this every single time. If you go to this, and there's a lot of linked properties, if there's over 3 linked properties, the likelihood of them selling at a discount is like less than 1%. I'm just telling you. You can read between the lines. If somebody's like, yeah, give me the right. The classic is when somebody says, well, for the right price, I'll sell it. For the right price, I'll sell it. And they own over 3 properties, put them in the trash. Hit him with take a shot across the bow and move. Because I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot of headache and a lot of heartbreak. Your heart is going to break when you have these good conversations and they're not even close. 60,000 is retail. It's retail.
Your 0.25, like your quick comp,
Yeah.
when you add up,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Yeah.
whatnot, and you do 25%, it's like 15 and some change.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So Mike was talking about if a property is above 250,000, as a quick throw out 66% of that price. So if it's 300,000 times 0.66, that's typically what you can offer on that property. If it is below 250 but above 100,000, it's 50%, times that by 0.5 at 50%. And if it's below 100,000, times that by 0.25, and you're going to be in the ballpark, which is 25%. Yeah, we got more? Tatted Realtor. There you go. Got a closing October 1st for $27,000. Here we go. I don't know. Plus, what is it, 27? 27,000. Boom. And that is Mr. Tat Realtor. All right. Boom. We're adding to it. And incredible. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations, Tatted Realtor. That's what I'm talking about. And now I would love that to be Tatted _ wholesaler. How about that? Tatted _ real estate investor. That'd be awesome. But if you love being a realtor, be a realtor. If it brings you joy, keep doing it. Peter, what's the best conversion rate of calls to contracts in the industry? It's not calls. Get rid of calls. Get that out of your head. It's contacts to contracts. Contacts to contracts. 200 to 1. You should be closing the contracts that you get. So it's 200 to 1. Get rid of calls. It doesn't matter in calls. Because you could have really bad data. If you're not using batch skip tracing, you're using watered down data. That's just a fact. That's not just me being a homer for batch skip. I literally have tried everything. Batch skip has the best data. They just have the best data. So, if it's calls, the issue is you could call 1,000 people and talk to like 10 because you're using watered down data. So it starts with the data that you get. So get accurate phone numbers, and from that, you should get a 10% contact rate the first time through the list. It starts going down from there, and I would just go through a list twice and then move on to the next list, Peter. But it is contacts to contracts. And that should be 200 to 1, 200 to 2 maybe if you're stretching a little bit. But if you're locking something up, you should be able to close that deal. Go ahead, Mike. No, nothing.
This is for the comp.
What if it's a sold as a buy and hold, or would you not recommend that? I've never sourced rental properties. Yeah, the issue is now you're dealing with a tenant that doesn't want to get out of there. So now you got to go into Indiana and see how backlogged are they in the eviction process, what the average cost is for an eviction, and then build that into that. Not only that, but build into the time and the time opportunity of money. And you've got an investor that's now in this property that has a tenant that's not paying, and a guy that bought it for $5,000 trying to sell it for $60,000 to some other investor that's just like doesn't know what they're doing. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So it's pretty much the same. I mean, a little bit, if you can get it for, you can increase a little bit. I talked about $20,000 in equity or $20,000 in profit is what an investor is going to be looking for. That could be less. It could be $10,000 or something. It could be break even if the cash flow is really good. So you might have, up to $20,000 bubble from $10,000 to $30,000. Maybe you lock it up for $30,000, put it out there for $40,000 to a buy and hold. They take the whatever. It just depends on the condition, Michael. You know what I mean? And listen, there's a lot of turnkey rental places that'll buy properties like that, because what they do is they totally, balloon up the value of that property to sell to their portfolio of buyers. I think it's the silliest real estate tactic of all time to buy turnkey rentals. Seriously, don't do it. Every single professional that I know, if they're having an honest conversation, says it's complete and total cluster, to put it gently. And I want you to avoid that. So you could sell it to somebody that maybe owns a bunch of rentals in the property, maybe needs another thing for depreciation, maybe just wants to, have clout that they have another door. So play around with it. I mean, I think that you'd be okay up to 30 if you want. It's not going to be a big deal, and the dude wants 60. So he wants 60. He owns 8 properties. He bought it for $5,000. He could hold on to this property forever. So what's the advantage? What is he motivated enough to take 30? I would hit him at that 10,000 and get his bottom line and see if you can get him around that price. But in my experience, you're just spinning your wheels, Michael. But test it out. I don't know. We don't know until we do it. I'm just hallucinating right now. I'm just going off of my experience. I'm just projecting this out. So if you go in and you lock up this thing for 30 and try to sell it for 40 and do it, I celebrate you, brother. But, I just don't want you wasting your time. I'm just giving you a little bit of experience that I've had. You got to hit them low with these guys that own these properties and see what their bottom line is. If it truly is 60 or nothing, move on. And it needs a new roof. Maybe. Probably. Hamilton. Brent, a person that's starting PT, what time in the day you believe is more effective to make calls and have a conversation with the homeowner? Doesn't matter, Hamilton. My rule of thumb with our business is if the sun's up, we're making calls. I always made them in the morning because I know personally if I didn't do it first thing, it would not get done. Like literally the afternoon, it would just spiral out. I'd be in a tornado of different responsibilities and actions and all these things. And then it just wouldn't get done. So I get it done in the morning, and it's when you can be consistent, Hamilton. It's when it fits in. Remember this word. Everybody remember this word. Let it stick in your brain like a seed and grow a beautiful, beautiful brain plant. The word is sustainable. Sustainable, sustainable, sustainable. That is the most important thing when you're starting out. If you can sustain your efforts, and you can sustain your actions, and you can sustain your enthusiasm, and you can sustain your schedule, you will be unstoppable. It's just very difficult for most people. That's why there's There's not enough investors for the properties out there. If everybody like took all of this action and took all of this instruction, everybody would be successful. I'm telling you. Just telling you. It's just if you talk to enough people in distress about their property, you're going to find opportunities, and they're going to be big opportunities. So when you could be when it's sustainable for you, Hamilton. Yeah. Juan, if you had 5 callers using your script for the same seller, what would make one stand out? Active listening, Juan. Well, one is energy and enthusiasm. You know, they have to have the energy, they have to have the enthusiasm, they have to sound like they are involved and excited, huh? Yeah, in the call, but it's the tone and pace. It's their tone and their pace, right? And the energy behind it, and it's also active listening. So when somebody's talking and they go, okay, great, yeah, sure, yep, I get it. Like if you hear people say that on the phone, it makes you feel more comfortable. It makes you feel like you're being listened to. Now, there's some crazy people that are like, wait, are they interrupting me? What are they saying? But if you're, sure, great, yep, I understand. Oh, 4 bedrooms, wow, okay, fantastic. You know, if you're doing that type of active listening, those are going to be your best callers because they're going to open up the conversation. People are going to feel more comfortable. Their force fields that they put up around them are going to melt faster if you're actively listening. There you go. Ariana. All right. I gave my 2 weeks to start full time. I can't wait. Anybody in Phoenix who would like to squad up with Ariana. That is exciting. I love it. Everybody in Phoenix, make sure that you are meeting up. Ariana, what I would highly suggest, and I hope he starts doing it again, is if Steve Trang starts doing his meetup groups. It's phenomenal. Really, 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 really strong. Steve Trang's Disruptors Real Estate Meetup Group. So I would look out for that and start meeting people here locally. I pop in there every once in a while once it gets going. It's been a while because, you know, obviously of what's gone on in the world. But once those things start popping up, look for that. Also, we're going to be doing some more things, next year once our new building and office is put together. It's going to be really exciting. So look out for that, Ariana. Congratulations. And listen, anything that you need, Ariana, you DM me. If there's any deals that you're looking at, you got a buyer. You got a buyer for all of them. So let me know. Let me know if you need somebody. Love to take a look at whatever you've got and make it as smooth for you as possible. Hey, Brent, I have been trying to wholesale for about a year now. I closed a deal for $5K, but that money is gone, and I'm trying to get back in the groove. Any advice? Number one, Jean Quez. First of all, the past is gone. Like literally, like it's gone. It's a puff in the wind. You know what I mean? Like we can't go back and we can't beat ourselves up and we can't, think about, what it could have or should have or whatever. We can only control what we're doing right now. So what I would do to get back on the momentum is I would get on the phone and I would just make a call. I would make calls for an hour. I would literally just make calls for an hour. I don't care if you're 100% laser focused into it. I don't care if you're crushing it on the phone. I don't care if people are making you stumble and fumble on, some objections or the things that they're saying. I just want you to take the action. Everything, I'm telling you, fear and anxiety are destroyed by gratitude and action. The only time that we think about these things, John Quez, is when we have the time to think about these things. But if we're constantly in motion, we just don't have time for it. And let me help you understand this. Like, this is a big thing in my life. Like, my brain will go into crazy places if I'm not active all the time. That's why I give my cell phone out to every single person that's in my coaching program. I love the action. I love comping deals. I love communicating. I love noise. I love being involved. I love moving and going all the time. It helps my brain. It really does. My brain starts getting real inventive, real imaginative, and real creative if I'm not focused on taking action all the time. And what I have found, true to form, is when I'm taking action, I'm providing value, and then that gets to the income, and that income goes to the assets, and those assets start providing value. So be in action. Just go. just press go on that dialer. Go for an hour today. You're going to feel so much better. Even if there's no leads, even if every conversation that you have is rough or whatever else, you're going to be in the flow of it. Something is going to spark in there. You're going to improve 1% or 2% or 5% today, calling and taking those actions, getting back into the groove, and then just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Sustainable. Have an honest look at your schedule and find the nooks and crannies in your schedule where you can commit 100% to being proactive and making those calls. And as an added tip here, do not start fiddling around with your lists or your dialer or whatever else. When it is hunting time, when it's going out there for opportunities time, you need to shut everything out. Everything needs to already be organized and in there so that you can just press go and not even think about it. You need to get all that stuff set up outside of your time that you've set aside for prospecting. All right? You got this. Jared, there it is. Let's go. TTP just drove for dollars pinned 1,020 properties today. I bet that was virtual, right, Jared? Jared just went from... Jared, you got to update that picture. I mean, I don't know if that was like a high school picture or whatever. You look young as hell there. I mean, you still look young. You are young, but that's like a passport photo from like 1999 or something. Yeah, you got the puka shell necklace. I mean, but love you, brother. Listen, Jared just crushed on that Rockstar rookie call that he does every other Tuesday for the TTP group. I literally got a text. It's like the most impressive text and sent it to Jared about how much value he's providing because he's in the thick of it. He's making the calls. He's working with the dialer. He's doing these things. So it's a different perspective for the coaching program. It's absolutely incredible and a huge value. And he just moved from Lubbock, Texas to Charlotte. He's in Charlotte now.
So what is a Rockstar rookie call for people who don't know?
It's basically like Jared goes, he talks about 10, 15 minutes about what's been going on in his business over the last couple weeks, what he's going through, being in the trenches, and then opens it up to questions for people that, just want a perspective of somebody in the work.
And that's for your coaching students.
That's the coaching program. Yep. TTPcall.com. If you're interested in that, TTPcall.com. I work with everybody personally. Check that out if you're interested and if you're ready for that. It's the next level. So if you're not ready for it, save this for later. But if you're ready to take it to the next level, TTP call. Hey, Brent, any master tips from inside sales agents cold calling? Yeah, listen, I mean, here it is, March. I mean, number one is the biggest hurdle is consistency. The biggest hurdle is that. All right. From there, tone, pace, script. Tone, pace, script. Tone, pace, script, active listening. That's where it's at. Have energy. Be in an environment where you can stand or you can move or where there's light or where there's, other people that have that enthusiasm as well, right? You want to make sure that you have that. And then from there, it's just build on the skills and set the expectations. Understand. Now, listen, when I say that you're going to talk to 200 people and 199 of them are going to reject you, we almost get into like a reflex. Like, when you bang your knee and it kind of goes, or the doctor does that for your reflexes, we get a reflex in our brain that says this person is not going to want to sell their property. This person's not going to want to talk to me. This person's not going. We need to reject that at the same time as keeping, really good enthusiasm. It's tough. It's tough. It takes practice. But once you get it down, you're unstoppable. That's the difference. So what you have to do is just, put really good things in your mind, surround yourself with really good people, watch these videos, get excited about it, understand that this is listen, I don't care if you come with $10 or you have $10 million. You can do this business. This is an out for a lot of people. I have seen this thing change people's lives like nothing I've ever seen in my life. I am telling you, people that grew up in the worst situations or people that just put themselves in the worst situations like myself, this business changes it. This isn't just me standing on a soapbox like, pumping you up to whatever, sell you something. It's the truth. I am telling you, it is hard. It is hard to have 199 people tell you no. It's hard to go 20 hours of calling people on the phone where we usually don't even answer the phone anymore. I don't care who it is. You're like, why are they calling? Oh my gosh, I don't want to answer the phone. And then go 199 rejections, get that one that works out. That is hard. Don't let anybody get it twisted. And if you're like, well, I don't want to deal with that, I'm going to just hire a VA. It's 4 times. You need 800 conversations for one deal with a VA. That's just facts. That is facts. I don't care how skilled they are. 800. So you just decide what you want to do. Which hard do you want? You want to do it yourself, build all these skills that you're going to have for a lifetime, or do you just want to, put money over here and net a smaller amount, but not have to deal with the emotional rejection that we go through, or the emotions that we go through getting rejected? So there's options there. There's options. Listen, people do it both ways. People are successful both ways. Just depends on what you want to do and how big of a budget you have. But if you don't have a huge budget, woo, good. You're stressed? Hell yeah. You're like confused on what to do? All right. But if you get on the phone and you've got accurate phone numbers and you've got addresses of properties that need some love, that are in distress, watch what happens. It's bananas. It's absolutely bananas. I don't care where you're at. I don't care what market you're from. I don't care what you sound like. You're going to be successful. Just use the skills. Build your skills. Pace, tone, script, and active listening. Alan. Hey, Brent. Like you say, time kills deals. How do I manage to get sellers who say they are interested in an offer to come to an agreement sooner rather than saying, call me in a month? It just depends. You have to dig a little bit deeper, Alan. What's magical about a month? In a month, what is going to change between now and a month from now? And there could be legitimate reasons why they want to wait a month. But if you say, if I could get you past that, or if I could solve whatever the situation is faster, would you be willing to, commit to this transaction, commit to working with me faster, right? And so you just want to shorten and just find out what is magical about a month from now. If you don't sell it in a month from now, what will happen? Well, I'll just wait another month. Oh, I'll just wait another month. Now holy cow, this isn't just a month. This is open-ended. What's the real motivation here? I've got motivation over here. This person says they need to sell it tomorrow. And then this person's like, well, it's kind of open-ended. Whenever I get the right offer, whenever all these ducks line up in a row, all of that stuff it matters. All of those conversations matters. All those details matter. So just dig a little bit deeper. And if there's something preventing them from selling right now, can you solve that? And if you can solve that, you're going to shorten that timeline, Alan. Great question. But time kills all deals. For sure. Tim Sims. Hey, closing a 8K deal tomorrow for my birthday. First of all, happy birthday, my man. And locking up 2 today for 12K. Super excited. Both squad up deals. Isn't that bananas? 20 for 10. Putting them on the board. Tim. 20 for 10. Boom. Tim Sims. There we go. Who has a show like this? Nobody has a show like this. Get out of here. I'm telling you, I love it. I love all the celebrations. I love it. Daniel, can you explain the difference of paperwork when it comes to double closing versus assignment? Yeah. And by the way, Daniel, if you just search in YouTube, double closing, you're going to find a breakdown of that. But basically, the difference is when you are assigning, with a traditional wholesale deal where you're assigning it, you get the purchase contract done. Then you need an additional contract that is the assignment agreement. It's usually 1 page. Just depends on which one you use. But we've got it at TTP Insider if you need that. TTPinsider.com. So you have the purchase contract, you got the agreement, and you send that to your cash buyer. They sign that. Now, when it's a double close, there's a purchase contract between you and the seller and a purchase contract between you and the buyer. So now you are the seller on the second contract. All right. So that is the difference. It's an actual full-blown purchase contract. It's not just you assigning the rights. So when you have a contract, this is your asset. You've got this asset now, and you can sell this asset through an assignment agreement. And that's what happens. But if you've got this asset, which is a purchase contract, and you want to you want to keep it real clean and do a double closing, then you need to put another purchase contract where you are the seller, they're the buyer.
So Brent, so an assignment is when you assign your rights to that contract, you assign your rights to the cash buyer, and a double close is when do you close on it and then they close on it?
Yeah. Yeah, double close is you are closing. This is not a double escrow. That's the third. There's really three main terms. If you're just unfamiliar with it, a double escrow is you're using the buyer's money to fund your transaction with the seller. You actually close this deal. A lot of title companies, a lot of closing attorneys don't like this. I don't even know why they would do it, to be honest. I mean, I kind of do, but I wouldn't. If I owned a title company, I'd be like either double escrow or assign. I wouldn't do it. I mean, double close or assign. I wouldn't do a double escrow where you're taking the money from here, it passes through this transaction to that. But that's a double escrow. Double closes, you actually come in, you close it with your own money, and then the next buyer, your cash buyer, closes typically, the same day, minutes, hours apart, day apart, whatever it is. And they bring in their own funds. That's obviously more than you brought in because you're going to make a profit. So there you go. The Money Metcon. I think that's a new logo for you, Money Metcon. I like that. Well, maybe not brand new, but I haven't seen it. That's good. I wholesale Memphis, a small city. I feel like I'm calling the same people every day, every month. How do I pull larger lists in a small city? I'm calling absentee owners right now. Help. All right, Money, listen, if you've gone through that, you've burned through that list, you're going to have to put on your boxing gloves because it's going to be a fist fight because you're going to have to call owner equity list. So basically the same thing as your absentee owner list, but these are people that are owner occupied that have lived in that property for a good amount of time. These are older properties, and you're going to have to open it up. Now, a lot of properties that are classified as owner occupied, sometimes I shouldn't say a lot. I would say there's a fraction of properties that have been owned. They're listed as owner occupied because they used to live there, but then they bought a bigger house or they moved or whatever else, and they didn't tell the city or town or whatever county that they don't live there anymore. So it's still registered as an owner occupied, and typically there's different property tax rates. So sometimes when you go after that owner-occupied list, they're not actually owner-occupied. Or they're downsizing, or they're finally moving out because they've totally destroyed the property. So it's going to have to be the big list out there is owner-occupied with equity. Make sure it's built before 1990. Make sure that it's been owned for 7 years. I wouldn't put an equity percentage in there. I would just put owned 7 years, owner-occupied in whatever areas that you want, built before 1990, and I would go after it. All right. Heidi, how do you find a good, reputable, investor-friendly title company when you're entering a new market remotely? Number one, Heidi, is referrals. Number one is going and asking other investors around that you have either met or squatted up with, or you see online, or you're in other investment groups and post and asking them what they think. The other one is just posting to the local real estate investing groups and asking who the best title and escrow person is, and seeing who responds and likes a certain person's name over and over and over and over again. Because typically they don't put it out there. Typically they're not like putting it on their websites, or they're putting it out in social media that, I'm the escrow officer that crushes escrow. You know what? We should just buy a title company and have our escrow officers post how investor friendly they are all the time and show stuff, and that would be the most successful title company of all time. I'm telling you. If you own a title company, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Heidi's having a lot of fun. Armand, hey Brent, I'm planning on getting my real estate license first or jumping into wholesale. That is a personal choice. It's just, here's the thing, Armin. If you feel like you have confidence that you can go and take action right now, then do it. I mean, I don't want you slowing up. I want you building up your pipeline of leads, because the beautiful thing is it's going to take some time for those leads to turn into income, turn into actual closed money in the bank, right? So during that time, you can get your license. The other side is if you don't really feel like you need to know more, you'd like to understand real estate more, you just feel like you're totally, green to it all, then get your license. Get your license so that you have that confidence. But if you already have that confidence, go for it, brother. I know you do. With the name Armin Brandy, come on. That's a powerful name. You gotta go behind that. The wind's behind your back, brother, already. A name like that. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's like a superhero name. So get going. Hi, Brent. Is there a book you recommend to read for being on the phones? There's a great book called Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. Blount, Fanatical Prospecting. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. Best one I've read. I've probably read like 10 books on cold calling, which is kind of weird because most of them are just like weird scripts that you can use or how you should put together your scripts and stuff like that, which is fine. But for the most part, I mean, the best book that I've read on it's Fanatical Prospecting. Jared Franken would definitely recommend that as well. Sharon, wait, I want my name. 40K? Come on. 40K? Are you kidding me? That is crazy. Sharon? Congratulations. I mean, beautiful picture. Love it. And holy cow, 40,000 so far. I like that. I like the ... so far, right? I mean, that's the best. Well, hey, listen, I'd love to see a six-figure month. All right? Six-figure month. Thornton. She's a Thornton, too. Look at that. Ryan Thornton. Oh, I got a bell ring for Sharon. There. Hey, Brent. What does your morning daily routine look like? Well, Alex, it's much different now than it was when I was coming up. When I was coming up, I would wake up earlier. I'd try to get up about 6:37. I know that's not early for a lot of those early birds, but I've never been an early riser. I always stay up pretty late. Usually go to bed about 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's just what I do. But I would get up and I would write down the goals. I did that whole, 10X planner for a long time. I got a whole stack of them in there. That I would write. I would write out like the 5 goals that I had, professionally and personally. I'm going to make $10,000 today. Who's going to sign a contract today? I would just put these things down to just get that in your mind, because remember, that all feeds into imagination, right? Imagination is the key to motivation. So when you're writing down all of these affirmations, or you're writing down your goals, all that is just making it's like bodybuilding for your imagination, because you see it, you feel it. That's where it's coming from. That's where you're like, okay, I got it. I'm visualizing this. We become what we think about. So if we're imagining great things, that's what we become, right? That's the whole deal. So really, it was just getting into the right mind. And then by 9 o'clock, I would be on the phones, so in the morning, kids and before kids, it was just, working out or just kind of getting everything put together and ready. And 9 o'clock was go time. 9 to noon, I was calling. So I just try to be as productive as possible. The philosophy is morning is for finding business, afternoons for doing business. And I think if you follow that plan, you're going to be real consistent, Alex. But now I wake up and my children are screaming and it's absolute anarchy. My wife looks at me with death eyes because, I'm kind of stumbling around the house trying to figure out what the hell is going on with breakfast and taking the kids to school and running around and text messages from my students on the East Coast. And, it's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. It's an exciting day. I sleep a lot. Yeah. What I would say is if you get drained, Alex, that's just because you're going through that process, because you're getting, there's some rejection, there's some negativity there that might be pulling that energy and drawing that energy out of you. But you'll flip a switch. You'll start getting energized by making the calls once you start closing these deals and getting these checks and getting the income coming in. I'm telling you. So it is stand up, make sure the lights are on, get an accountability partner if you can. I love the idea of like a Google Hangout or FaceTiming or whatever it is, and just having somebody there that is with you when you're making your calls, and just stay up. And listen, go for 5 minutes, stop. Go for 10 minutes, stop. Go for 15 minutes, stop. Go for 30, 45, an hour. Build up your endurance. Okay, build up that endurance, Alex. You don't have to just be, crushing yourself for an hour the first day in. You're just like, oh my gosh, like this is really, pulling a lot out of me. It's new. I mean, if it's new, it's gonna pull a lot out of you. Go try to learn the violin. In your 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just going to take more. So, I mean, it's just, this could be a new skill for you. I don't know, obviously, your whole background, but this could be a new skill for you. And if it is, it's going to take some time. You're going to be overthinking. And when you're overthinking, you're buffering. It's like that fan going on in your computer, and it's just going and going and going. You got like 15 things opened up, and that spinning ball comes out type of thing. That's kind of what we're going through, and it takes up a lot of your battery, literally the battery. This is a great analogy. I love this. I'm cruising on this thing. It does. It takes your battery, and so at some point you're going to be more in the flow. If you're practicing more, you're going to feel more comfortable. You're not going to buffer as much, and your energy levels are going to rise, and then you're going to actually get energized by this business. No cap. Oh, Hunter's just rolling her eyes. She's like, oh my God. You guys are so ridiculous. Did you have your braids last show? Oh, everybody's going to see Alejandra's new braids. Probably already have. It's looking good. Can you put the camera on her? Let's see. Let's show her. The camera's over here. Oh, there we go. It's over here. There you go. Look at that. Looking good. All right. Brandy V-Hill. What avenue do you recommend for building websites for a wholesaling business and homes for sale for dispo? Don't overthink it, Brandy. There's some good dispo sites. I think Property Propeller is one, or Propeller something. I think it's Property Propeller. I would just Google that. I know that Carrot.com has some good sites. I would just, you could just, probably type in real estate investor websites and just get something that's already custom made. But I don't have a dispo site that I know of. I don't think we do. I think we had one, but we don't really use it. All of our sales go from picking up the phone and calling our buyers, texting some buyers, or from our email. So I think it's more figure out your email list and keep that real fresh and keep them fed over the website. Actually, what am I talking about? Deal Machine. Deal Machine. If you've got Deal Machine, they give you property websites for every dispo deal that you have. Deal Machine has that, which is an incredible feature. You put it all in there, and you can send a link through text or email or whatever else. It pops it up its own property website. What am I talking about? We had them in last week. I'm crazy. I'm out of my mind. But yeah, Deal Machine. They have a feature on their website, not on the app, obviously, but on the website where you can go. You can plug in all the information. It makes it really slick. It looks good. There you go. And by the way, that's not an extra charge. If you already have Deal Machine, you already got it. It's squeaking. Hold on. Hey, Brent, suggestion on dialer. Should I go for Mojo or Batch? Batch. Yeah, without a doubt. Mojo's going to have problems coming up. Yeah. Batch is able to keep these things fresh and to recycle the caller ID numbers and to move them around so that you get good, so that you can actually touch base with people. So batchdialer.com, TTP. Okay, I'm going to die. Alejandra says I'm going to die on this next one. All right. Alejandra's dying. Okay. What? For real? Yeah. Joshua Deshaun Smith. Whoo! Whoo! 13 years old, closing my first deal on the 11th for $38,500. Joshua, I want to do a podcast with you for the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. If you could, how do they email Alejandra at talktopeople.com. Alejandra at talktopeople.com if you're interested in that. Love to share that story, but what are we talking about? $38,500, and that is Joshua. I am telling you, we are making some. We are doing this, and what an incredible impact. I would love if you could do a follow-up how you found that deal. I'm sure everybody is interested in that, but congratulations, 13? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is crazy. 13 years old. Congratulations for closing that. Now don't stop. And listen to me. Here's the deal. All right? That seems like $1 million to you. And that's good. Don't get crazy. Don't get all wild. If you've got some responsibilities, if you've got some family thing, whatever else, that's cool. Keep this momentum going. Don't let that just be the thing. You need to put that in the past. It's a great victory, but we need to be going after these 50K deals, these 75K deals, these 100K deals. We need to start building up that momentum that you have and really, really, really doing something impactful. But congratulations. I love it. Would love to see a picture with you with your head held high. I know you're looking cool, but I'd love to see it with your head held high because you should, and that is absolutely incredible. What an inspiration. Would love to do a podcast and hear about that. Incredible. One more question, and then we'll bring the crew up, and that'll be it. Okay. Hey, Brent, off topic. What do you hit? Oh, Alan. Yeah, here's the thing. Number one, my mom's built like a tank. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, it's I have a personal trainer. I have a coach. I have a coach that I go to, and you'll see as soon as I started with this coach, you just get in better shape. You're more accountable. You show up. I show up more to the gym knowing that somebody's there and I have an appointment because I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want to blow them off. So it's an accountability thing. So listen, man, buys and tries, push and pull, get crazy, put some volume on it. It's all about time under tension. But for real, it's just consistency like anything else. So I appreciate it, Alan. Thanks for the shout out there, buddy. And come on up. Everybody come on up. What a great show. Just as an announcement, we do not have a show next week because Mike and I are traveling. We've got a mastermind for real estate coaches in Tampa. So we do not have a show next week. We do have the Thursday Millionaire Before 30 show next week. And we have an incredible show tomorrow with Ryan Zolan, all about how to implement actually Rich Dad Poor Dad into your life. So do not miss that. 10 a.m. same channel here. You've got it. On behalf of Matt Hill, Daniel Walker, Alejandro Murch, and Mike Mahoney, we want to say we love you guys. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you for getting us over 50,000 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, I would invite you to do so and take advantage because it is the cheat code in the real estate industry is what we put out here. So I love you guys all. I celebrate you all. Congratulations all. And I'll see you in 2 weeks for this show. And I'll see you tomorrow for the Millionaire Before 30. You guys are the best. Love you guys. See ya.